2006 MG ZT. As you can see, this one's got a nice plate on it, SLZ1324. But it is a late 2006, so it's quite a late model car. 2-litre diesel, so that's the really reliable BMW 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine with a manual gearbox. Perfect car for winter daily duties. Still got that lovely retro MG Rover look to it, with some nice modern creature comforts. We're going to start by having a good look down around the bodywork, then we're going to move on to the interior, and then we're going to go for a cold engine startup. It's driven to us yesterday, this one, driven from a decent distance away as well. I have had it down the road, it does drive well. We're going to start on this driver's side. If you look down this side, you can see it's nice and straight all the way down there. It's not full of ripples or dents, but we do have one small dent just there, which you might have been able to see there. But other than that, it's not full of filler or anything nasty like that. Driver's front wing, nice and tidy along the top. We do have some corrosion coming through on the bottom there. Doesn't matter whether it's a small bit or a large bit, really, for me. Just replace the wing. It's an easier job than trying to fix that. Rest of it's all nice and tidy. The trim's all in one place. The indicators are nice and clean. Sill along the bottom, the important bit, is nice and neat, as you can see. So on these larger 18-inch MG wheels, which look really good on this, especially with the grey on the silver wheels. Plenty of tread left in the tyre. Coming down this side, we've got no delamination along the bottom of the screen or in the corners or anything like that. The plastics are nice and clean. They're not dried out or cracked. No stone chips or anything up the A-pillar or along the leading edge of the roof, which is quite unusual on something like this. Rest of the roof lovely and straight. There's the odd little sort of tree sap mark that if it bothered you, good polish, you get rid of those. Glass is nice and clear all the way down the side. Again, the plastics look nice and tidy. The plastics are all the way around. They're not dried out. They're not cracked. There's no marks on the wing mirror. Again, there's that little dent that we mentioned there with a scratch next to it. And there's another tiny little scratch just there. The rest of the door, all nice and neat. Around the handle's good. Again, this trim's nice and neat. The rubbers are nice and soft. Coming further back, you've got a couple of tiny little marks. And I'm being really picky here. Rest of the door, lovely and neat. If we unlock it properly, which actually the central working on this central lock on this one actually works as well. They normally don't do what they need to do, but this one does. We'll have a look down the bottom there. There's no sign of any corrosion coming through there or anything nasty. Tiny little bit of paint flake down the bottom, but the rest of it's all good. And we've got two tiny little chips just there. Rest of the rear quarter, all nice and neat. Another good wheel and tyre. Nice and neat. You can see the discs look to be pretty good as well. Another look down that side from here, all good. Round on the back, we have parking sensors on this one. Both tail lights are clean and crack free. It's got the correct size plate on the back, which is always a good sign for me because nothing looks worse than a weird normal plate on the back of one of these. What I imagine is the supply and dealer. We've got the stickers there and on the plate. Lower half of the bumper, nice and neat. A couple of tiny little scratches where something's been taken out of the boot, but nothing major. Exhaust sits nice and straight. The ZT's obviously got that nice stainless bit of trim as well. Coming round onto this side, nice and straight all the way down this side. Again, not full of ripples or dents. Around the spoiler area is lovely and neat. That's not been used to lift the boot up and down by the looks of things. There's no stress cracks or anything in it. Rest of the boot lid's good. Rear screen is nice and clear. There's no delamination in the corners. Rear quarter on this side again, nice and tidy. Arch itself is good. There's a little bit of corrosion just starting at the bottom there. But the rest of it's all good. Another good wheel and tyre. Wheels are virtually unmarked all the way around from what I can tell. They're really good. Again, the glass on this side nice and clear. The trim's good. The rubbers are soft. Have another look at the roof from up here. That's all nice and neat. No marks to whinge about on either door that I can tell there. Looks all nice and neat. All good on the wing mirror. There's a little bit of paint flake on the top. No sign of any stone chips up the A-pillar. Got one tiny one just there on the roof, but the rest of it is all good. And again, no delamination in the corners of the screen on this side. Front wing on this side is good, especially compared to the other side. No sign of any corrosion coming through there. There's a tiny little scuff on the bumper there, but actually looks like it will polish out. And another good wheel and tyre. Round on the front, if we're being really picky, the headlights could do with a polish. They're a little bit milky. They're not too bad, but they are a little bit milky. Indicators and fogs lower down are nice and neat. Got one little mark on the bumper there, but other than that, really very good. Again, no real signs of any major stone chips on the front. We've got one there, one there. Rest of the bonnet, lovely and straight. Moving on to the interior. I do think that the MG interior was better than the Rover interior. I did notice that this piece of trim that goes on here is a little bit loose. It will clip back in, but we put it in there just so it doesn't go missing. They get the MGs get the sort of half Alcantara the slightly more sculpted seat, which I think looks a bit better. Nice and neat on the driver's door card. All the switch gears lovely and clear. It's not worn through or anything like that. Mileage wise, 78,000 miles. If it was on double that, you wouldn't be surprised. These engines go forever. Lovely and clean on the top of the dash. And down the center console, we've got a later Kenwood stereo with Bluetooth and everything in there, which is nice to have. Dual zone temperature controls and everything in there. Let's say 5-speed manual. Virtually no signs of any real wear on the steering wheel. It's got perforated leather on the steering wheel. A little bit of a mark at the corner there, but that is it. Pop the boot in the bonnet while we're there. Driver's seat, all nice on the backrest there. Bolsters on the inside are good. A little bit of wear on this section here, but they are quite large bolsters, so generally that's very, very good for the age of the car. Rear doors, lovely and neat on there. Door shut, there's no sign of any marks or anything like that. The backs of the seats are good. These are not stretched or pulled out. They don't look like they've been used hardly at all. And amazingly, a non-saggy headliner. An MG or a Rover or a Jag or anything like that, anything British of this era, always had a saggy headliner, whereas this one is perfect. So there you go. Into the boot. Controls for your parking sensors there. Other than that, totally standard and normal in here. Underneath the boot floor, got a full-size spare wheel. There's the locking wheel nut and the jack. No sign of any moisture or corrosion in there. Full-size spare wheel's nice to have. All good on the underside of the boot in these gaps here where normally you find corrosion coming through. This one's lovely. Rear, we haven't unlocked it. Maybe that one doesn't quite unlock on the central locking. There we go. Rear left, nice and neat on the door card. Again, it's Alcantara is in lovely condition. It's Alcantara is a sort of suede cloth. All nice on the door shuts. And again, it doesn't look like these rear seats have been used hardly at all. The backs of the seats are good. They're not kicked or abused. There's no funny smells in here. There's no sign of any moisture, cigarette smoke, dogs, anything like that. All very good. Front left, lovely and tidy on the door card. And then this seat, really very, very good. Doesn't look like it's been used hardly at all. I'm guessing most of the journeys in this car were driver only because the rest of the seats are like brand new. This side of the dash, all nice and tidy. Normally this trim scratches and wears horrible, whereas this one's very good. Do get quite a lot of these MGs and these Rovers through. Perfect car for the money, really. No marks along the front scuttle or anything like that. Inner wings are all nice and tidy, as are the strut tops. All your plastic covers are where they are, even the battery covers there, fuse covers, everything's there. It's not dropping any fluid on the floor. It's been with us a couple of days. It starts on the button. Like I say, it was driven to us as well. I have had it down the road. It does drive well. Firing it up. No sign of any warning lights on there other than a twinge that we've got the doors open, because we have. Around the back, no sign of any nasty smoke or anything coming out of there. And ticking over nice and happy around the front. Like I said, there's 2 litre diesels, BMW engine, super reliable, decent on fuel. What more do you want? So there you have it. It's 2006 on that plate, SLZ1324 MGZT. Check the description, we'll detail everything we know about service history, where it's been. I believe from memory it's quite low owners as well. But check the description, we'll detail all that in there. If you've got any other questions, please get in touch. Thank you.